All right, so I wanted to do a video specifically on crypto and Chainlink. Today is November 10th. Let me just pull up the chart real quick so you can see. So this is Coinbase. You can see earlier today, Chainlink went from like $33. It got as high as mid $38, and now we're on this weird correction, or hovering around $35. So exciting day for crypto. But I really wanted to talk about was where I think directionally Chainlink could go, and I want to use Ethereum as a way to historically see how Ethereum was lagging behind in regards to Bitcoin for years, and then in 2021 it finally broke out of its shell. And my hope is that Chainlink will do that in the near future. Now, I don't know when it'll happen, but when it does happen, basically you should have as much Link as you ever want to own with these sub $100 price points. I first want to show up two screenshots, and Dan, I have shown you these. So the first two will be on the left, we're going to have Ethereum's price in US dollars, and then on the right, we're going to have Ethereum's price in Bitcoin. So let's first look at the one in Bitcoin. So Ethereum, and this is around July of 2017. That's when I first got into crypto. And my first crypto I bought was actually Ethereum, and it was around $220. So if you look at the chart on the left, 220. So I had bought in right after it skyrocketed from like $20 to 200. I had no idea that happened at the time, but I bought some and I held on throughout the bull run of 2017, 2018. So it went from $200 to $1,400, and then it went as low as we can see. I think it got as low as like in the 80s, but it hovered around $100, $200, basically up until mid 2020. Now, if we look at the chart on the right, when we're looking at Ethereum's price in regards to Bitcoin, if we look at July 2017, that's where Ethereum was its most valuable in regards to Bitcoin, and it crashed. And hopefully my mouse is being shown. You can see it crashed by January or December 2017, January 2018. That's when Ethereum was, if we look at it, was around $1,400, but Bitcoin went on a run from $2,000 to $20,000. So even though Ethereum maybe 7x or 5x, Bitcoin over 10x. And we can see Ethereum went down, then it caught up a little bit again, and then from basically January 2019, or maybe let's say August 2018, really up until early 2021, Ethereum's been kind of suffering in price relation to Bitcoin. Now, obviously, even though Bitcoin has gone up a lot, Ethereum has also gone up, and now you can see this first leg up, and now it's hovering, and Ethereum could break out as well and continue to go up. But I wanted to bring this up first because we can basically see the Ethereum price chart slowly going up and to the right, which is good. That means it's increasing in price with regards to the US dollar. But comparing the price to Bitcoin, it really has been lagging basically since July 2017, and it's starting to recover. But it still has a ways to go if it ever wants to hit that 0.15 Bitcoin per Ethereum. So I guess, Dan, I know you weren't around in 2017 or 2018, but did that all make sense to you?
Yeah, well, I think one thing I've noticed is that obviously the crypto market is a market in and of itself,
Mm-hmm.
but Bitcoin, it seems like, kind of drives the market.
Yeah.
So from what I saw, and I didn't look at it as closely as you did, but essentially you're saying basically when Bitcoin makes a move, Ethereum lags but tends to respond in the direction that Bitcoin goes.
Yeah, and the cycle, if you look online, this is the cycle everyone will talk about, is they'll say Bitcoin goes up first, then alts will follow.
Okay.
Now, in 2020, 2021, Ethereum has kind of created a secondary layer. So now they say Bitcoin goes up first, then Ethereum, then all the other altcoins.
Got it. And it's usual. So do you think we're approaching a point where Ethereum is going to kind of break off into its own little market driver, or do you think Ethereum is always going to be a little bit dictated by what Bitcoin tends to do?
So, I mean, in the near future, Bitcoin is still the S&P 500, so
Like
to speak,
like the
even though it's
granddaddy,
not,
yeah.
even though they're not directly connected.
Mhm.
If Bitcoin crashes, Ethereum will crash a little bit.
Right,
Now, maybe if Bitcoin goes down 50%, Ethereum might only go down 30%,
right.
but it'll still go down.
Got it. And do you think that, um, we talk about Chainlink a lot, obviously big day for Chainlink. Just Chainlink is, to those of you who aren't familiar with it, it is an Ethereum token. So it's connected to the Ethereum platform. I should say maybe it's not connected to the platform, but it is a token that is used within the Ethereum decentralized finance realm,
Yeah,
right?
so Chainlink can be built on any smart contract platform. Ethereum was the first one it was built off of. I know they're building their decentralized Oracle solution for Solano, and there will be others. So
Okay.
it can evolve. It's a different layer, but the first layer was built on top of Ethereum, mainly because it was the first smart contract that was working.
Got it. So Chainlink theoretically could also be in the future. Maybe it's also going to be a token in Cardano wallets, Solana wallets, things
Yeah,
like that. Got it. Because the reason I ask is, do you think that Chainlink is going to be? Do you think Chainlink's just going to sit as its own coin within the grand market of cryptocurrency, or do you think it's going to have more of a direct tie to, say, the coins that it's being leveraged with as a part of their platform?
yeah. So this is where I wanted to show, and I'll bring up the screen again. So now I have two screenshots to the left and right. To the left is Chainlink's price compared to dollars, and then on the right is Chainlink's price compared to Ethereum. So if we look on the left, Chainlink in May of 2021 got as high as about 52. I think it got as high as $54. Then it went back down to I think 11 or 12, and now we're sitting nicely around 36, $35. Now if we look at the chart to the right, this is Link's price in regards to Ethereum. So if we go back to around, it looks like September of 2020, Chainlink was the most valuable in regards to Ethereum, meaning you could buy one link was about 0.05 Ethereum. But what we see in this chart is since then it has gone down and it's gone down hard. So right now we're looking at it's 0.00, I think that's 7 Ethereum. But the reason I bring this up is because um, if we go back to 2017, I had bought Ethereum. It had a working product at that point.
Mhm.
So smart contracts, people were just starting to leverage them, but it had a working product. CryptoKitties was one of the first like NFTs
Yep.
built on Ethereum that kind of were popular. But even though Ethereum was a working product, Bitcoin was going up where Ethereum really wasn't, or it was going up at a much slower rate than Bitcoin. And to me, that was confusing because I was like, well, Ethereum is a working product and there's smart contracts and there's so much that smart contracts can do, where Bitcoin is basically just like virtual gold.
Right.
So not that I'm taking value away from Bitcoin, but it's like, well, if Bitcoin's valuable, why isn't Ethereum?
Mm.
And what I've learned is I believe it's because the market was so immature that you could still have a millionaire adjust markets if they want to buy or dump their bags.
Right.
Um, Now, it took Ethereum really till 2020, 2021 to really break out of its shell. But when it did, now people are like, oh, like if you talk to your parents, they probably have heard of Ethereum. They might not be able to talk about it, but they've heard of it. Whereas in 2017, everyone heard of Bitcoin, but no one heard of Ethereum.
Right.
Now, 2021, I've known about Chainlink, you know about Chainlink, but most people don't know about Chainlink. And if we look at this chart compared to Ethereum, it's still dirt cheap. Now, I'm going to now show that chart of Ethereum Bitcoin, and I'll move that to the left. Now, you can see Ethereum got pretty low compared to Bitcoin and then hovered there for a little bit, and then it broke out and it got all the way, it got a lot higher than it was today, or than it was. With Chainlink, we're not at that point yet, but I'm predicting that that will happen. Now, is it going to happen this year or next year or in 2023? I don't know, but the time will come where as the Chainlink network gets more and more known and they market it more so people understand why you need a decentralized Oracle. I mean, you have smart contracts and everyone knows what that is, but smart contracts are useless if you can't verify the data. So
Got
if
it.
everything's on chain, you don't need an Oracle, but most things are going to rely on data that's outside of that smart contract
Mhm.
or outside of that chain. And that's where something like Link will be the solution.
Yep.
And people don't know that yet. So if we look at these charts, just directionally speaking, if this Link Ethereum chart does something similar to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, at some point, Ethereum, let's say Ethereum hovers around $4,000, but then this Link chart goes up to match maybe where it was in August of last year, then Ethereum could still be $4,000, but Chainlink could get $100, $200. So what's going to cause that? I don't know. It could be something as simple and silly as Elon Musk saying, "We need data. Chainlink is data." It could be something as simple as that, or it could just be, over the next 2 or 3 years, as decentralized oracles are becoming more and more known and used, that the market just understands, okay, well, we need oracles. Chainlink is an oracle, therefore Chainlink is valuable.
Or you get more than just the AP leveraging a Chainlink Oracle
Yeah,
network.
so the Associated
Yeah.
Press. So the cool thing about Chainlink is um, these big named organizations are using it. Associated Press a couple weeks ago announced they are going to run a Chainlink node. The World Economic Forum has multiple articles about Chainlink and decentralized oracles. These are organizations that everyone knows about, and the World Economic Forum is in the news every couple weeks as of recent during the pandemic. But the fact that whether you like them or not, they're going to rely on Chainlink in their Build Back Better agenda.
Right.
So, depending on where, what your views are on that type of things, the Chainlink is a great hedge. So if that does happen, you own a piece of the pie.
Yeah. So if I could break this down a little bit with kind of what we just discussed and what I took away from it. So let's at a high level consider Bitcoin to be the market driver, right?
Hmm.
And again, we're not getting into the tech at this point. We're talking about just the pure value of the tokens we're talking about.
Yep.
Bitcoin's going to drive the market. Historically, very evidently, Ethereum lags, but then follows Bitcoin in whichever direction it goes. Um, and then you have other alternative coins that will also react because Ethereum and Bitcoin seem to be the first two to move before the because I don't even know if we can necessarily call Ethereum an altcoin at this point because like you said, it's becoming its own sort of market driver.
Hmm.
But Chainlink is still, even though we love it and we talk about it, like it's still an altcoin. It's not a mainstream thing
Yeah.
that people talk about a ton. It has its own meme following that we talk about, but now it's starting to get its due. Um, and you're looking at things from a very, very analytical perspective where you're showing that there is always going to be an average ratio of say like Chainlink to Ethereum. There's going to be an average, but that there are going to be, but that you should be paying attention to the moments where it dips far below that average trend line, because that usually means you're going to be able to buy low and it's going to surge high. Is that kind of what we're getting at
Well,
here?
what I was trying to get at, I mean that's valid, but what I was trying to get at is if we look at Link compared to Ethereum, the price is very low. Even though the U.S. dollar value has gone up, it went in the past year. It went as like $10 to 55. Now it's at 35.
Sure.
It's still very low compared to where Ethereum went from like $200 to now it's
Yeah.
4,600.
Yeah. So I think so. Don't pay attention to the dollar amount in the direction of that as much as you pay attention to the ratio of what the token you're looking at is compared to say the Ethereums and the Bitcoins of the world, because at the end of the day, as the market really matures and starts to normalize, those those peaks and troughs are going to become less severe. So you probably want to take advantage of when the ratio is low, right?
Yeah, and the other point I want to make is, short term, crypto is volatile. It'll stay that way for years. I'm
Mhm.
not going to pretend like I know when that's going to stop.
Mhm.
But directionally, we know that Chainlink is dirt cheap, especially compared to Ethereum.
Right.
And at some point, it should correct. Now, I don't know when, but it will. So whether it's today, tomorrow, or 5 years from now, the point I want to make is that everyone who is interested in Chainlink and maybe hasn't bought any yet, buy some now so that way you have your bag. You
Yeah.
don't want to wait until something happens or, oh, it might go down another 10%. You don't want to worry about 10, 20% swings when you might lose the opportunity to get a 10x return in, a couple months' time.
Can I ask a practical question
Yeah.
about the invest? So like let's for all intents and purposes, let's say that you dollar cost average $500
Yeah.
into cryptocurrency of your choice
Hmm.
every couple of weeks. Given that Ethereum's ratio to Bitcoin is pretty good, or is pretty steady right
Hmm.
now. We got the dog under us, just making sure she's not going to pull on any any cords.
Yeah.
But whatever. So the fact that Ethereum has kind of caught up to its average trend line for relative cost compared to Bitcoin, but Link is still lagging. Would you think about, like, say that you do say that you do 200 Bitcoin, 200 Ethereum, 100 Chainlink in terms of your purchase. At a moment like this, would you think about potentially moving, say, $100 out of Bitcoin, $100 out of Ethereum, and putting more of your ratio into Link because that's going to pay off most as it catches up to the rest of the market? Is that how you would practically go about it?
It's tough to say. I mean, everyone's different. Chainlink is obviously more risky than Bitcoin, and more risky than Ethereum, but I think it's proven itself from a technological standpoint. In my view, the market hasn't caught up to what Chainlink delivers, just like it did not catch up to Ethereum in 2018, 2019. So yeah, I tell people who don't want to put the time in to learn about crypto, they just want to put some money in and forget it. I say Chainlink, Ethereum, and Bitcoin.
Right.
That ratio in which you do to play it safe, maybe just do 33% in each one.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more in Chainlink, a little less in Bitcoin and Ethereum. But that's all personal preference. I wouldn't make that suggestion to someone. I would just say, make sure you own Chainlink, make sure you have some Ethereum, and make sure you have Bitcoin. But Chainlink will go off. I don't know when, but
Yeah.
it will happen.
Yeah. So it's more of like a high level PSA where it's like, yes, we can provide some practical advice on right now is a particularly good time to get it on Chainlink
Hmm.
because of its relative ratio to the average trend line against the rest of the market. They call it the market being Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, this is our PSA to say Chainlink is not mainstream yet, and you're going to want to get your bag of Chainlink before it becomes mainstream.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's our two.
Yeah,
practical
and
things.
this is we're November 10th. I'll try to have a video on Chainlink every week for the foreseeable future, just because I think the next couple months are going to be pretty crazy, one way or the other.
Right.
And hopefully, directionally, I can give advice that helps people make the right move.
All right. Cool. Sounds good.